Paul Revere rode into the night saying, to arms, the British are coming. Today we have a new message of warning to get out to the masses if we want to continue to live free and if we want our children to grow up in a better world than the one we have inhabited ourselves. We have a message you may find so shocking and frightening it may be hard for you to believe. Others may think they are familiar with this message, but I assure you, you may be familiar with some of what I will say here today. There is something that you are probably less familiar with, and that is that you can do something about what is happening. All you have to do to begin is believe in yourself. First, if you have not heard of the horrors we have to tell you today, it doesn't mean you are less intelligent, but you need to realize that millions worldwide know and believe in much of the stuff I have to say today, and if any part of you wishes to stay behind and not become part of this epic, historic movement, then you are becoming a minority fast. Be sure to research any of my claims if you feel any reason to have any doubts. At this time in the year of our Lord 2013, millions of people in growing numbers are already aware that many of the world leaders, or the parasitical elite class, as I call them, are poisoning the water with sodium fluoride. You know, the ingredient in toothpaste that you are not supposed to swallow a pea-sized amount, and if you do, you are supposed to call the poison control phone number. And the fluoride they put in the water isn't even dental fluoride, but toxic waste fluoride. They poison the air with chemtrails. This is different from contrails that dissipate after a few minutes. These chemtrails expand, fill the sky, and are filled with aluminum and barium. If you don't believe me, just look up and see for yourselves. They poison our food with additives such as MSG and aspartame, once used as a bioweapon by the U.S. military and was known as hemlock back in Shakespeare's time. They're bent out on removing our right to own guns, our freedom of speech, and the rest of the Constitution. They want everyone chipped with implantable tracking devices to ensure that the world will remain as modernized slaves that are too weak and disempowered to rebel from their tyranny. These are the same GPS tracking systems found in cell phones, iPods, computers, cars, and much more. Of course, let's not forget that they wish to kill around 90% of us and have a world government for us to answer to them. There is much, much more to all this than I can even say here today about all the precious freedoms that we are losing. Freedoms that most of us take for granted, like the right not to be searched illegally or spied on. Be sure to do your own research as well to find out the whole truth to this shocking story. However, in spite of all this, in spite of overwhelming odds, there are things that you can do to save the world, believe it or not. First is becoming informed and informing others of what is going on to wake them up as well. That is what most of us have done to change things, but wait, there's more. I'm not referring to starting violence. Many are preparing for war, but I will discourage you from being the one to start a physical fight. There are still other means of changing things. It is funny how many people are interested in this stuff and constantly research law and politics, but never go into them themselves. You want to change things? Just go ahead. If you join politics, you can begin changing things. Even if you don't become the president, the more freedom lovers and patriots in higher places, the less power the parasitical elite class have. Next, aside from the parasitical elite class joining politics themselves, do you know what they have done to become so powerful? They did it through stealth, which means they got rich and started changing the world with their money. Most people think they are not smart enough, talented enough, well off enough to make big money and have poor mindsets towards money. Money is the root of all evil today, some say, but how many of them are willing to give any away? But what if you can use your money to help others, to make life better for the unfortunate? Use your creativity and dollars to counteract the parasitical elite class and build a better tomorrow for the people of the future. Does that sound like such a bad person? Did you know that less intelligent people, less talented people than you, and believe it or not, people more broke than you, have come back from it to become wealthy people? Do you know what they had that you probably don't have? They had big dreams, a burning desire, and the belief that they can do it. And you can do it too. Your big dream can be to change the world. And every time you hear about the world falling apart and you find things in your life to be terrible, you then have your motivation to change things and have your burning desire. Listen to people like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, and Kevin Trudeau to get your thinking right, to believe in yourself again, because the last thing the parasitical elite class want is an informed public empowered to do something about it. It may take some work, some trial and error, but that's natural. Never give up. Failure is not an option, for you are the resistance. You may look at life and think it is too late. Things have gotten too dark, but remember, the darkest night is just before the dawn. Or, as Martin Luther said, even if I knew that tomorrow the world would go to pieces, I would still plant my apple tree today. Finally, prayer is good as well. Even if you don't believe in God, did you know the power of prayer is proven to have power? From helping plants grow to miracles of the human spirit and healings, prayer has been shown to be effective. Scientists are now saying that they think that the universe itself may be a living organism and that reality is along the lines of a computer simulation. It has also been shown that meditation, focus on peace, can actually produce more peace in our world. So pray or meditate for more peace, love, freedom, and an enlightened society that will move into a bright and luminous future, projecting our species into the galaxies. You may think this all is really crazy, but remember, it is the people crazy enough to believe they can change the world that are the ones that often do. Or as Alex Jones once said, cattle die and kinsmen die, but I know there is one thing that will never die, and that is the fame of a dead man's deed. It is not the fame you want for your progeny, it is that communal understanding that they remember you and hold you up as an image of what they would want to be. So, will you join me and save the world with me? The universe throws out a lot of stuff looking for the one. Are you the one? You are, if you believe you are. You may find yourself in the gutter, but start where you are and move to the stars. Together, we can change the world, and generations will look back on who we became, and they will be proud, inspired to do the same. Let the tradition live on once again, just like Paul Revere and the spirit of 1776.